Dad, my
Where
back
were you
hurts.
last night?
And the Mafia boss
I don't
went
answer
still.
to you.
Dad,
You're hiding
my back
something
hurts.
from me.
The voice came from the pastel
okay,
pink
sweetheart,
bedroom
I'm
like a
here.
whisper
I
that
was
didn't
so
belong in a
scared.
mansion built
I
on
know.
power.
You're safe now.
7-year-old Rosalie Ashford sat on the
Wait,
edge of her bed
slow
with
down!
her back turned to
No
the
time,
door,
keep up.
wrapped in a sweater
Where are you
so
going?
big it swallowed her small shoulders. Her
Hold on,
posture was
kid.
wrong,
We're almost
too
there.
stiff, too
I need
careful,
help! My child
like she was
needs
holding
help!
herself
This way,
together
move!
with invisible threats.
We need to move
Her
now.
father
It's
froze in the
critical.
doorway.
All right, lead
Red
the way.
Ashford wasn't just a wealthy businessman. In Chicago,
His condition is
name was a
unstable.
warning.
We need to act now.
People called
What are the
him a
risks?
mafia boss
Significant,
because it was
but waiting
safer
is
than calling
worse.
him what he
Do it.
truly was, a vampire king. He'd ruled the night court from the shadows for over a century, disguising ancient authority behind
What is
modern
it?
money.
I don't
He'd
know, it
survived
just
wars,
appeared.
betrayals, and
glowing.
blood
Does it
feuds
hurt?
that would have
No, but it's
broken a lesser
warm.
creature.
There we
But
go,
nothing,
all set.
nothing
It doesn't
prepared
hurt.
him for the
That's
fear
good,
in his
sweetie.
daughter's voice.
She'll be comfortable
He had
now.
returned from Miami 10 minutes ago. He expected laughter, a running hug, a child's bright voice calling, "Daddy."
Listen, we don't have much time.
Instead,
Follow
he found
me.
his
Where are we
ex-wife,
going?
Miranda,
To the back lot.
leaving the
Stay
mansion
close.
too
All right,
quickly,
let's go.
heels striking marble like a countdown.
It hurts.
She didn't ask about his
I know,
trip.
sweetie, just
She didn't
breathe.
mention
We're
Rosalie's
right
week
here.
with her. She didn't meet his eyes.
What are they?
That had set off
They're not
something older
supposed to
than
be
instinct.
here.
It
Go
set off
now.
the protectiveness
This
of
way.
a father and the rage of
You
a
don't
king.
belong here.
Red stepped into
We
the
go
room
where
slowly.
we please.
Rosalie,
Not today.
sweetheart,
Get out.
come here. Let me hold you.
You can't be in here.
Rosalie
She's
flinched
right. Get
before he
back.
even
We
touched
need to
her.
see her now.
No,
please,
no,
just listen.
please
No,
don't touch
stay
my
back.
He reached anyway as gently as he could, and the moment his fingers brushed her sweater, Rosalie screamed. It wasn't a tantrum. It was pain so sharp it ripped the air apart. Red jerked his hand back like he'd been burned.
Let me in. I
and
have
his
to see
world
him.
narrowed to one
No,
thing.
it's not safe
His
for you.
child's tear-soaked
She's right.
face turning
Back
toward
off.
him.
Get off me.
Her eyes weren't just watery. They were terrified. Who did this? His voice came out low, controlled the way it did before a war. Rosalie's lips trembled. Said, "If I tell you, something worse will happen."
Where were you
Red
last
knelt
night?
so their eyes were level.
I don't answer to
He
you.
forced his
You're
expression
hiding something
soft
from
because
me.
he knew what fear did to a child. Listen to me. Nothing bad will happen because you tell me the truth. Not ever. Rosalie swallowed hard. Mom said, adults always believe adults. She said you'd believe her more than me, because I'm just a kid. Something inside Red cracked, quietly, dangerously. He took her small hands in his. Rosalie Ashford, look at me. I will always believe you. Always. Even if the whole world says otherwise. A tiny flicker of hope appeared in her eyes. Then she spoke, trembling like each word cost her courage. It happened Tuesday. Mom cooked broccoli. I said it makes my stomach hurt, but she said I was lying. She made me sit there until my plate was empty. I tried, Dad. I tried. But I felt sick. Then she yelled and told me I couldn't eat anything else because I was bad. Red's jaw tightened. He kept his voice calm. And then? Rosalie stared at the blanket. I went to my room and
It's
cried
okay,
because I was
sweetheart, I'm
hungry.
here.
Then
I
Mom
was
came
so
in.
scared.
She was still
I know.
mad.
You're safe
She grabbed
now.
my arm and pulled me off my bed. She was squeezing so hard. I begged her to stop. Her voice grew smaller. Then she pushed me. Red's fingers went cold. My back hit the closet doorknob, Rosalie whispered. The metal one. I heard a crack sound. It hurt so much I couldn't breathe. Red's eyes darkened, not with tears but with something older. Something predatory. Rosalie rushed the rest out like she was afraid she'd lose the chance. The next day it got worse. I asked to go to the doctor. Mom said no. She said the doctor would ask questions and she didn't want trouble. She put ointment and bandages on it, too tight. She told me to wear big shirts so you wouldn't see. Rosalie looked up, voice breaking. Dad, I had a fever. She said that's normal. But it doesn't feel normal. I'm scared. Red's control nearly slipped. Vampires didn't lose control easily. Red had ruled himself through hunger and
Wait!
war.
Slow
He
down!
had trained his
No time.
emotions
Keep
to
up.
obey him like soldiers.
Where are you going?
But this was his daughter. Sweetheart, he said carefully, I need to see your back so I can help you. Rosalie hesitated, then nodded. With shaking hands, she lifted the oversized sweater. Red saw messy bandages. He smelled a sour, wrong scent, like something that had been ignored too long. He didn't panic in front of her. He didn't shout. He simply lifted her gently into his arms, cradling her like she was the most precious thing in the world, then walked out of the room like a man heading to war. Ben, he ordered into his phone. Bring the car. Now, we're going to the children's hospital. Emergency. The black Mercedes tore through Chicago's night like it was outrunning fate itself. At the hospital, people recognized Red Ashford instantly. Nurses stiffened. Security glanced away. Even doctors, used to pressure, seemed to feel his presence. But
Hold on,
Red
kid.
didn't threaten
We're almost
anyone.
there.
He didn't
I
need
need
to.
help! My child needs
He
help!
walked to the
This
counter
way!
and said, "My daughter is hurt. She needs help immediately." A young nurse appeared, calm, steady, with pale blue eyes and hair neatly tied back. Her badge read, Sienna Moreau, pediatric nurse. She looked at Rosalie and her expression softened like a candle flame finding shelter from wind. "Hi," Sienna said gently, crouching to Rosalie's level. "I'm Sienna. You're safe here. Can you tell me your name?" Rosalie clutched her father's jacket, then whispered, "Rosalie." "What a beautiful name," Sienna said warmly. "Like a rose. I love roses." Something eased in Rosalie's shoulders. Just a little. Red watched it happen like witnessing a miracle. Sienna guided them into an exam room, moved with practiced kindness, checked Rosalie's temperature, listened to her breath, spoke softly through every step. "You're so brave," Sienna told Rosalie. "Braver than most superheroes." Rosalie blinked, and for the first time that night, her mouth lifted into the faintest smile. Red stared at Sienna like he'd forgotten how kindness looked. A doctor entered, Dr. Whitman, and examined Rosalie with a serious expression. After a few minutes, he asked Red to step into the hallway. "Mr. Ashford," Dr. Whitman said quietly,
We need to move now.
"your daughter's
It's
injury
critical."
is serious.
All right, lead the way.
She needs 4 antibiotics and observation. I'm required by law to report suspected child abuse." Red didn't argue. He didn't throw money at the problem. He didn't threaten. He simply nodded once. "Do it. Document everything. Call whoever you need to call. My daughter comes first." Dr. Whitman looked genuinely surprised. "You understand this could become legal?" Red's eyes sharpened. "Good. It should." When detectives arrived, Red agreed to call Miranda on speaker. Miranda denied, then blamed Rosalie, then finally admitted she shoved her, calling it discipline. Each contradiction stacked like bricks in a prison being built around her. After the call ended, the detective exhaled. "That was valuable evidence, Mr. Ashford." Red didn't look relieved. He looked like a storm wearing a man's face. Back inside the room, Sienna adjusted Rosalie's fore and smoothed her hair. Rosalie's eyelids fluttered, exhaustion winning. Red stepped
His condition is
closer.
unstable. We
His
need to
voice
act now.
lowered.
What are the risks?
"Thank you."
Significant,
Sienna
but
met
waiting
his
is
eye,
worse. Do it.
steady, unafraid. "You don't need to thank me for doing my job." But Red's gaze tightened, as if he could see beyond her uniform, beyond her calm. As if he could sense the scars she hid behind that kindness. Then, without warning, the hospital lights flickered. A cold pressure filled the air, subtle, supernatural. Sienna stiffened, her skin prickling like someone had whispered her name in a language she didn't know. Red's head snapped toward the window. Outside, in the dark reflection of the glass, he saw something that made even a vampire king go still. A symbol, faint, silver, ancient, glowing on Sienna's wrist like a hidden crown waking up. And Red realized, with a jolt of dread and destiny, this wasn't just about protecting his daughter. This was the beginning of a war that had been sleeping for centuries. The nurse with the hidden crown. Morning arrived, but Red didn't feel daylight, only threat. Rosalie slept under clean sheets now, fever easing as antibiotics flowed through her small arm. Red sat beside her bed like a statue carved from control, yet his mind raced. That silver mark on Sienna's wrist haunted him. Vampires knew symbols. They knew old magic. They knew the difference between coincidence and prophecy. When Sienna returned to check Rosalie's vitals, Red watched carefully. Sienna tried to keep her sleeves down, but Red had already seen it. A crescent and thorn emblem, ancient night court royalty. Human hands shouldn't carry that mark. Unless... Sienna sensed his stare and stiffened. "Is something wrong?" Red's voice stayed calm. "Your wrist." Her face drained of color. She pulled her sleeve lower. "It's nothing." "It's not nothing," Red said softly. "That mark belongs to my world." Sienna swallowed. "I don't know what you mean." Red leaned closer, lowering his voice so only she could hear. "You're in danger. Because if I saw it, others can sense it too." Sienna's eyes flashed, fear then anger. "I'm not scared of others. I'm here to help a child." Red's gaze sharpened with respect. "That's why you're still breathing in a city ruled by monsters." Sienna bristled. "I'm not asking for protection." Red's lips barely moved. "You already earned it." That evening, Miranda arrived at the hospital again, this time with a lawyer and a practiced, cruel smile. She demanded to see Rosalie, claiming Red was manipulating the situation. But Rosalie clung to Red when Miranda entered, trembling like a leaf. Sienna watched it, really watched it, and something in her expression changed. She stepped forward, voice calm but firm. Rosalie is a patient. If she doesn't want contact, we
What is
respect
it?
that.
I don't
Miranda's
know, it just
eyes
appeared.
narrowed.
It's
Who
glowing.
are you?
Does it hurt?
A
No,
nurse?
but it's warm.
Sienna said. And someone who believes children. Miranda's smile turned sharp. Careful. You don't know who you're speaking to. Red's voice cut in quiet, lethal. She knows exactly who she's speaking to. And so do you. Miranda left with fury in her heels. That night, as Sienna walked to the staff parking lot, the air turned colder than it should have been. A black SUV idled nearby. Two men stepped out, too pale, too still, eyes reflecting faint red under the streetlights. Vampires. Not from Red's loyal guard. From a rival house. Lady marked, one whispered, voice like smoke. You don't belong here. Sienna's heart hammered, but she stood her ground. I don't know what you're talking about. The vampire smiled, revealing the slightest edge of fong. You will. Come with us. Before Sienna could move, a shadow dropped between them. Red Ashford. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't show fangs. He simply let his presence expand, like a king stepping onto a battlefield. The rival vampires went still. Red spoke one sentence. She is
There we
under
go,
my
all
protection.
set.
It doesn't
One
hurt.
vampire
That's
laughed
good,
nervously.
sweetie.
She'll be
Since when do
comfortable
you
now.
protect humans? Red's eyes turned midnight dark. Since the universe decided to test my patience. The vampires backed away, but not before one of them murmured, the blood crown has awakened. The council will come. When they disappeared, Sienna exhaled shakily. What are you? Red turned to her. The thing nightmares pray never finds them. Sienna's voice trembled. Why are you helping me? Red's expression softened, just slightly. Because you made my daughter smile again. Silence stretched between them. Then Sienna whispered, barely audible, I used to be her. Red's gaze sharpened. What? Sienna's hands shook as she pulled her sleeve back. The mark pulsed faintly. I grew up unwanted. I married someone who hurt me. I ran. I changed my name. I thought I buried the past. Her eyes glistened. But when I saw Rosalie, I couldn't look away. Red listened, truly listened, the way powerful men rarely did. And something inside him shifted. He didn't touch her. He didn't rush comfort. He simply said, you survived. Sienna swallowed. Barely. Red's voice lowered. Then let me make sure you never have to barely survive again. At that moment, Rosalie's monitor beeped faster inside the hospital room. Red and Sienna rushed back and froze. Rosalie sat upright, eyes half open, voice not like a child's at all. She whispered a sentence in an ancient tongue. A language older than Chicago. Older than Red's empire. Sienna's mark flared with silver light. And Red realized with chilling certainty. Rosalie wasn't just a child in danger. She was a key. And someone had been waiting for her to speak. The night court demands her. By dawn, Chicago felt different, like the city itself was holding its breath. Red ordered his most trusted guards to surround the hospital discreetly. Not to
Listen, we don't
intimidate,
have much time.
to
Follow
protect.
me.
Where are we
Because
going?
once the
To the
night
back
court
lot.
council
Stay
sensed
close.
that
All right,
ancient
let's go.
language, they would come like wolves to blood. Sienna tried to focus on work, but her hands trembled each time Rosalie looked at her with strange familiarity. Rosalie, now calmer, whispered to Sienna, you smell like safe. Sienna blinked back tears. I'm trying to be. Red stood nearby, and for the first time Sienna noticed the way he watched Rosalie, not just as a father but like someone guarding a fragile miracle. Later, Dr. Whitman said Rosalie would recover, but the investigation would be intense. Custody hearings. Police statements. Protection services. Miranda, cornered, grew more dangerous. That afternoon, Miranda sent a message to Red. If you take my daughter from me, I'll destroy you. Red didn't reply. He simply prepared. That
It
night, the
hurts.
hospital's power
I know,
died for 3
sweetie,
seconds.
just breathe.
3
We're right
seconds
here.
was all the supernatural needed. A cold wind swept the hallway. The lights returned, and 2 figures stood at the end of the corridor. A man and a woman dressed like royalty from another era. Elegant, unnatural, their eyes ancient. Night court counselors. Red stepped forward, body tensing like a drawn blade. You're not welcome here. The male counselor smiled. King Ashford. We felt a disturbance. A child spoke the old tongue. Sienna's stomach dropped. The female counselor's gaze slid to Sienna's wrist. And the blood crown has chosen a vessel. Red's voice turned lethal. She's human. She is marked, the counselor corrected. Which means she belongs to the night court. Sienna backed up instinctively. I don't belong to anyone. The counselor tilted her head. All queens belong to their crown. Red snapped, she is not your queen. The counselor smiled cruelly. If
What
she
are
bears
they?
the mark, she
They're
is
not
destined.
supposed to be here.
And destiny doesn't
Go
ask
now.
permission.
This way!
The air thickened, tension turning sharp. Then Rosalie from her bed whispered again, old tongue soft and clear. The counselors went still. The male counselor's eyes widened slightly. The child carries royal blood. Red's entire body froze. That wasn't possible. Unless Miranda had lied about more than bruises. Unless. The female counselor's voice sharpened. King Ashford, your bloodline is not as simple as you think. Sienna stared at Red, confused. What are they talking about? Red's jaw clenched. Not now. But Rosalie looked at Sienna and whispered in normal English this time, I saw it in a dream. The moon lady said you're my moon mom. Sienna's breath caught. What? Red stepped closer to Sienna, voice low. They're trying to use her fear and your confusion to take control. The counselors began to move forward. Red's eyes darkened, power
You don't
humming
belong
beneath his
here.
skin.
We
Sienna
go where
didn't
we
understand
please.
vampire politics.
Not today, get out.
But she understood one thing clearly. They were trying to take Rosalie. And something in Sienna, something deeper than fear, rose up. She stepped in front of Rosalie's bed without thinking. I don't care who you are, Sienna said, voice shaking but firm. You're not taking her. The counselor's eyes narrowed. Human girl, you are brave. Brave things break easily. Sienna's mark flared. Silver light poured across her wrist, up her arm like liquid moon. The counselors froze. Red stared stunned. Sienna's voice changed, not deeper, not monstrous, just steady like truth finding its spine. I don't break, she said quietly. I survive. And with that, the lights in the room brightened, pushing back the unnatural cold. The counselor stepped back, forced. The female counselor hissed, the mark responds. She is awakening. The male counselor smiled, almost pleased. Good. Then she will be ready. Red snapped, ready for what? The counselor's smile widened. For the blood trial. Sienna's heart pounded. What is that? The counselor's eyes gleamed.
You can't be in here.
She's right, get back.
To prove
we
she
need to
is
see her
worthy to
now.
stand beside
Please,
a
just
vampire
listen.
No!
king.
Stay back!
Red's voice dropped to a growl. She's not standing beside anyone. She's leaving with me. The counselor bowed slightly. You can run, King Ashford. But the night court always collects what is owed. They vanished like smoke. Silence slammed into the room. Sienna's legs nearly gave out. Red caught her elbow, just a steadying touch, careful and controlled. Sienna looked up at him. I'm not your queen. Red's eyes held something rare, respect and something warmer behind it. No. He released her gently. You're something far more dangerous, he said. You're the kind of kindness my world doesn't know how to handle. Sienna swallowed hard. I don't want power. I just want Rosalie safe. Red nodded once. Then we want the same thing. He paused, then added softly, and I don't share what's mine. Sienna's pulse jumped. Rosalie is not. Red's gaze softened. I meant your safety. But the way he said it felt like a vow. Outside the window, thunder rolled over Chicago. And Sienna realized the truth. Whether she wanted it or not, she had stepped into a hidden kingdom. And the king was already choosing her, slowly, silently, through protection and trust. The crown chooses kindness. The custody hearing was set for 1 week later. Miranda fought like a cornered snake, spreading rumors, painting Sienna as a criminal nurse, accusing Red of intimidation, claiming Rosalie was coached. But Rosalie did something Miranda didn't expect. Rosalie told the truth, calmly, clearly, because she finally felt safe enough to speak. And the world listened. Sienna became Rosalie's comfort person in the hospital, then later in therapy sessions. She never tried to replace a mother. She simply offered what Rosalie needed most. Belief, patience, safety. Red watched Sienna with growing intensity. He didn't flatter her. He didn't make dramatic speeches. He brought her coffee on night shifts without asking. He paid off Sienna's medical debts quietly, without taking credit. He arranged extra security near her apartment and didn't tell her until she noticed. Sienna confronted him. Did you think I'd be grateful? Red's voice was calm. No. Then why? Red's eyes held something heavy. Because you deserve peace. And my daughter deserves to see what kindness looks like when it isn't temporary. That hit Sienna harder than romance ever could. Because she was used to love that demanded payment. Red's care didn't demand anything. It simply protected. But Miranda's danger didn't end. 2 nights before the hearing, Miranda tried to take Rosalie from the safe house Red arranged. She arrived screaming, threatening lawsuits, trying to drag Rosalie by the arm. Rosalie cried out. Sienna stepped between them. "Don't touch her," Sienna said, shaking but firm. Miranda's eyes gleamed with rage. "Who are you to stop me? You're nothing. A broke nurse with a fake name." Sienna's voice wavered, but she didn't move. "I'm someone who refuses to let you hurt a child again." Miranda raised her hand like she would strike Sienna. Red's voice cut through the room like ice. "Try it." Miranda turned and saw Red's eyes. Not human. Not forgiving. Miranda stumbled back. Red stepped forward slowly, towering. "You told her no one would believe her because she's a child." His voice was quiet, far more terrifying than shouting. "You were wrong." Miranda's lips trembled. "You can't take her from me." Red's gaze hardened. "I'm not taking her from you." He leaned closer. "Your actions are." At the hearing, the evidence spoke louder than Miranda's performance. Medical documentation. The recorded call. Rosalie's consistent testimony. Professional reports. The judge granted
Let me
Red
in. I
full
have to
custody
see him.
with supervised
No, it's
visitation
not safe
only.
for you.
If
She's right.
Miranda
Back
completed
off.
Get off
court-ordered
me.
counseling and monitoring. Miranda's face twisted with hatred as the ruling came down. But Rosalie didn't look at Miranda. She looked at Sienna and whispered, "We're safe?" Sienna knelt beside her. "Yes, baby. You're safe." Red watched the moment quietly. In vampire politics, victory usually tasted like blood and fear. But this victory tasted like something Red had almost forgotten. Justice. That night, Red took Sienna and Rosalie to the Ashford estate, not the glamorous wing, but the private garden where moonlight silvered the roses. Rosalie ran ahead, laughing softly, alive again. Sienna stood beside Red, arms wrapped around herself. "I still don't understand the mark." Red looked at her wrist. "The blood crown chooses a queen when the night court is on the edge of collapse." Sienna's breath caught. "So, I'm a queen?" Red's expression was steady. "You're a choice." Sienna frowned. "That doesn't make sense." Red's gaze shifted to Rosalie chasing fireflies. "In my world, queens are chosen for power. For cruelty. For politics." His voice lowered. "But the mark chose you because you stood in front of a child with nothing but kindness, and still didn't move." Sienna's throat tightened. "I wasn't trying to be brave." Red's eyes softened. "That's what makes you dangerous." Pause. Sienna whispered, "What do you want from me, Red?" Red didn't touch her right away. He gave her the one thing she'd rarely been given, control. "I want you to be safe," he said. "I want Rosalie to grow up seeing respect instead of fear." His voice dropped. "And I want to earn the right to stand beside you." Sienna's eyes filled. "You're a king. You don't earn anything." Red looked at her like she was the only truth in the world. "With you I do." Slowly, Sienna extended her hand, not for romance but for trust. Red took it gently like it was sacred. And the mark on Sienna's wrist warmed, not burning, not painful, just alive. Rosalie ran back to them, holding a tiny flower. "For you," she told Sienna. Sienna smiled and tucked it behind Rosalie's ear. "Thank you." Rosalie looked between them, then said very seriously, "You both look less sad when you're together." Sienna laughed through tears. Red's mouth curved, small, rare, real. And in that moment, the night court's prophecy changed. Not because of blood. Not because of fear. But because a broken human girl who once survived violence chose to become a shield for a child, then accidentally softened the coldest king in Chicago.